So guys, I started my vlog back again. I've been doing too many interviews and all of interviews every now and then. So I'm actually at the Lesotho stand. I was invited for this event and I came rather late for it. So I'll just have you guys see the view around how it looks like. And I'll be talking to the pavilion director for Mexico. Yeah. So guys, this is Mexico, and I'm a Mexican. Is it Mexican or Mexico?
Ah, well, Mexico, you can pronounce it. In our language, it's Mexico.
Mexico.
But it's Mexico, okay.
Yeah, good. So he's the director for this place, and I'm happy just go to himself to the house. What's the name of it? What's for the interview actually? Just a snippet short for this. Name?
My name is Eder.
Eder. So, and you've been here for how long?
We will have been here since October of last year, and we will be here until March 28th.
Perfect. So we'll have a quick tour around. So have you guys, what have you experienced like being in Qatar so far?
Well, our experience has been really interesting here in Qatar. It's a very unique country in many ways. You know, safety, weather, a lot of things that we won't expect from another country. And of course, there is a very well, as a Mexican, I can tell you that we are felt very welcome here because of the local people. Even if it is Qatari or Indian or Nepalese or any kind of people resident here, we have been always feel welcome here in this country.
That means the expo has been a perfect experience for voters.
Well, I can say that it has been a very interesting experience, something that we are commonly used to see. Of course not, but it's the next exhibition will take place in Yokohama, I think, in Japan. Exactly.
Okay, this is okay.
Because these are the kind of exhibitions that are managed by the International Bureau of Exhibitions. So they change the locations sometimes.
Very good. So have you guys have a tour? Don't worry, too.
Okay.
So have a tour and let's see how the pavilion is.
Yes, of course.
We need to see this.
Yes, of course. Please be welcome. Bienvenidos.
I like that word. What's the meaning of that? Bienvenidos.
That means welcome. Welcome, bienvenidos. Exactly. You must know, before we can enter here, we are addressing two main topics here in our pavilion. Sustainable production and climate change mitigation. So these the two main things that we will find inside in a very small place, but with a lot of culture and interesting information.
Perfect.
Here, by the way, here you can see my two partners, Jessica and Eduardo, that are now explaining the part of the agricultural and cultural elements that are comprising here in our pavilion. In the first topic that I said before, the sustainable production, you must know that Mexico has plenty varieties of agri-food products, which we are the center of origin of. For example, chili peppers. Here you can see 69 different types of chili peppers.
Wow, 69.
69. And all of them come from Mexico, from different parts, as you can see. And, well,
and well preserved.
Yes. And maybe there are even more than these 69, but registered at this moment there are 69 different chili peppers. And there is a common mistake to think that we in Mexico prepare spicy food. It's not that we prepare spicy food. We use these chili peppers to add flavor to the dishes. And the spiciest one, we use it for sauces. And depends on the consumer how much sauce you can put in the plate, you know? That is the thing. And in Mexico, the most spicy, they consider the most spicy, it's habanero, 29. That's considered the most spicy, a variety of that. And also, here, you can see that we are the center of origin of 13 varieties of squashes. Exactly. Squashes, beans, and of course we have government bodies that are in charge of to maintain the genetically the planet genetic resources to improve the crops, to improve the seeds, and to have a more sustainable food for the future.
So what is the weather like for planting in your country? Is it very...
The weather?
Perfect.
That is the thing. Mexico, if you can see the pavilion, there is a lot of colors here, because in Mexico there is a lot of weathers also and a lot of fruits. You can find hot weathers, cold weathers, depend on the region, depend on the season, of course. Summer it's hot, and winter and the northern part is pretty cold. So as you can see in the map, I want to say that Mexico is 50% desert. From
50% desert.
Yes, arid and semi-arid areas. From this side to this side is like arid and semi-arid areas, and from this side to the down is more like a jungle and forest that you can find, or rainforest. See the corn. Mexico is the center of origin of the corn. We have we have in Mexico 64 different races of corn, because we are the center of origin. As you can see, all of them. Here you can see 22, black one, red one, white, yellow, with big grains, with small grains. All of them have specific purposes. For example, this is for popcorn. You see the grains specialized on popcorn. These with the big grains are mostly used for soups, stews, or for making flour. And the black one is very popular to make blue tortillas. The tortillas are the the staple food that we use to make tacos. Yes, thank you. Well, from our agriculture comes our culture. Here you can see some products: hot sauces, agave syrup, leaf teas, dry mango also, and let me show you this. This is a Mexican toy. We call it valero. The way to play is like this.
Wow.
Maybe you can try it later. In this part, as we are talking about culture and agriculture, you can see this that we call, sorry, directly, I want to take a picture. Here you can see 𝐓𝐷𝐷𝐒𝐿. 𝐓𝐷𝐷𝐿 is a fruit actually. This fruit, a pumpkin, a family of the pumpkins that grows in the trees.
Wow.
This kind of fruit, the artisans takes the inside and the skin, they put it under the sunlight for 6 months until it gets this hard shape. Then they carve it and paint it by hand.
And they make it become like this.
Yes, this is the fruit actually. In the old days, it was used as bottled water. So it's a sustainable production. Now it's a decoration also, and a box to keep jewelry, keep money. Exactly. Here, Mexico is has this commitment with the environment also and the sustainable production, that we also have our currency that we call Mexican pesos. In our currency you can find some information, but let me show you what kind. This is actually the real money. If I give you this to you and you go to Mexico, you can pay with this. Really.
Okay, give me this.
Okay. Oh, then let me show you what will happen.
Really?
That, for example, is a chinampa.
That means it's original, right?
Yes. Well, it's not the purpose of the app. This is an application developed by your national bank, but has educational purposes. See?
What's that thing behind?
That is an axolot, ajolote.
Wow.
This one.
Insightful, man. I never knew this.
Endemic
So it
species.
was embedded into this money.
Exactly.
Wow.
All of them has something with the environment, with the ecosystem.
Wow.
See?
Wow. It's not just a money, it's a work of art.
Looks like, no?
Interesting.
Thank you. And here you can see raw cotton. This is raw cotton. Mexico is also considered the center of origin of the cotton, the one that comes from plants. And with this cotton, these rudimentary tools, and this technique,
Made for what exactly? Moon?
no, it's a plant.
And it grows like this?
Yes. Well, it's not brown, it's white, but it takes this color because it has some color added, you know, of material. They can make this by hand. We call it huipiles. Huipiles. Yes. This is a dress.
We use this special to make popcorn.
But also could be like a blouse.
It's a traditional attire.
Yes, a traditional tie.
Is one everyday wear?
Well, yes, depending on the area, but yes, you can have it once, of course.
I'll try one on me to see how it looks.
Thank you. Here you can see a tree of life that is a clay figure that commonly. Yes. This one, well, a tree of life commonly represents a biblical or mythological story. This one represents the agricultural sector in Mexico. All what we can produce there: cattle, poultry, fisheries, seafood, vegetables, fruits, all what you can see in this we have in Mexico. And commonly, a tree of life has a height of between 15 and 1 meter tall. This one is almost 3 meters tall.
It's in Mexico.
In our Ministry of Agriculture, yes.
Wow. Okay.
If you are a fan of painters, famous painters like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, this mural was painted by the husband of Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, that represents...
Frida Kahlo.
Yes.
I need to find that exactly.
You will see. This paint represents, well, it's called the greeting between the peasant and the worker. And it's located in the University of Chapingo, one of the main college that research and develop new ways to produce in a better and a sustainable way in the world. And of course, here you can see some products that we can find and we can export in Mexico, from Mexico.
That's very, very important. Export.
One of the first is avocado. Avocado, mangoes, lemons. We have a very good, of course, corn. You can see that we have a plenty corn, cacao, and even dates. We are now the third largest producer of medjool date in the world.
Dates.
Yes.
Wow, I thought this was
And of course, red tomato.
Yo, natural.
Yes, we are also the center of origin of the red tomato. And as you can see, this is a part of food's sustainable production.
Before we go, I want to do something. Can you explain this flag?
Our national flag. It's it's our emblem.
Okay.
Green, white, and red. But let me bring an expert to explain this.
An expert. I like that.
Would you be so kind to explain to us the meaning of the flag?
Well, before you explain this, you can introduce yourself. What's your name and what you do here?
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm a participant in Mexico Pavilion, and thank you for visiting our pavilion. Well, here you can see our flag. I will start with the colors. The green color represents the hope.
The green color represents hope.
Hope, yes.
Perfect.
And white represent unity, and color red represent the blood of our ancestors and also
The blood of the
ancestors and heroes in our history.
Wow.
And as you can see,
What
here
about
we
this
have
one?
our national bird or our national animal, that is a golden eagle. It's decorated as a snake perched on a cacti. Cacti represents the resilience of our people, and these leaves, oak leaves represent the victory, and laurel leaves represent the trio. As you can see, cacti are very important in Mexico. 40% in our territory is semi-arid, so it's part of our history, also part of our culture, and resembles the resilience on different aspects in our life.
Perfect. You did very perfect job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you really much for that. And now we can pass to the second part of the pavilion, the garden.
Okay.
That is related with the, the climate change mitigation.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, nice to meet you. I am Eduardo. I will explain a little bit of our plants that we have in the Mexico pavilion. For example, here we have our succulents, because Mexico has... Sorry?
Away succulent.
Our succulents.
Okay.
Yes. Because we have around 669 subspecies.
Wow.
For example, as you can see, it's blooming now. As you can see here. We can find many species, for example, the Echeveria, we can find sedum, we can find several species that we brought from Mexico.
All this came all the way from Mexico.
All of those plants that we can find here are from Mexico.
So what do you do?
But we are trying to adapt in here in this region, because Mexico has around 40% of desert, and we are trying to preserve our natural resources. That's why we brought here those plants that we can find in the desert, like here, because it's very similar to this region.
I want to know what you do.
Well, for example, I am agronomist. I am agronomist. That's why I came here to take care of our plants that we can find in our garden, as you can see. Yes, I am agronomist. Yes.
So your name again, so
My name is Eduardo, Salvador Eduardo.
So you can find him on Instagram and...
Yes, you can find me on Instagram as Chava__ Eduardo. Yes, thank you very much for it. This one is from our traditional national sport in Mexico called the charreria, and we use like a helmet in Mexico.
Okay.
This also Mexican
It's the same but in different design, as you can see.
But just for national knowledge.
No, yes.
Thank you guys.
Thank you to you.
Right from here.
Okay.
So I'm wearing the traditional Mexican. It says gracias. What is it?
Gracias.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you.
Mexico, a gift that we have brought to Qatar as a gift, because these endemic species are very important for the environment. These cactus that we call golden barrels are very important for the environment. 1 hectare of cacti can absorb around more than 8,000 tons of CO2 per year.
Are you serious?
Yes, and the roots of this kind of plant blossoming in this side. This little bulb will be...
All this came from Mexico.
Yes, exactly.
Now you see, all of this, everything.
Yes, this is Mexican. This, we call it agave tequila. We produce...
Wow, that was a nice one actually. It was a blast. So I'm going to go now and see my Lesotho people, back to my roots. Yeah.